bad enough to have Friday the 13th. We've got to have a full moon, too.
Fear of the number 13. The morbid fear of the number 13, also known as triskaidekaphobia. Written reference to the superstitious fear of the number 13 dates to the late 1800s. Its origin is conjectural, a matter of guesswork. The term triskaidekaphobia first appeared in the early 1900s. It was derived from triskaideka, the Greek word for 13 plus phobia. Fear of
We are currently experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
As much of the mad and macabre as they were to see that day.
Became a nightmare. Gonna do a walkthrough.
Over 1,300 pieces of evidence were collected from the crime scene.
Scratch marks along the wall.
There was no doubt something paranormal was going on.
And for that exact reason, I'll continue my research to drive away the darkness.
Hello, fine folks. You have tuned in tonight to ASEP Radio. My name is Ben Robison.
And I'm Nicole Katsanis.
So this episode is going to be completely about the number 13 because of the fact that it is our 13th episode.
Yay!
Now, the first 10 episodes, oh, no, I take that back. The first 9 episodes I did alone. And I started way back. I say that like so many years have transpired. But
Well, you are old.
Testing me already. Good. But October of 2013, when I first recorded, I guess it's kind of a film, right? But I recorded my very first episode.
It's almost 2 years ago.
Yeah. And I'm now,
Congratulations.
thank you. I'm at episode 13, which, yeah, by standard of podcasting, that's very far behind schedule. I'm not worried about that. This show has never been about popping them out, all the time.
Quality, not quantity.
Thank you.
You're
I like that.
welcome.
So, at any rate, what we wanted to do tonight was we wanted to go over the number 13 and the superstitions, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Not even suspicions. I was going to say suspicions.
Very superstitious.
And I'm going to preface right now for the folks out there, we're enjoying ourselves a nice alcoholic drink, so we're probably a little bit more, on the edge. We're kind of crazy, wacky. Zany. But I think it'll make for a fun episode for you guys. So, that's my drink.
Thank you. Oh, wait, we should cheers.
Yes, cheers. All right. So here's to number 13.
To number 13. We should have 13 drinks. 13 shots.
No.
Then we could be like those vloggers and stuff. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
where they're like getting drunk and talking about stuff or reviewing.
Drunk kitchen or drunk cooking or drunk history.
Yeah.
Drunk history. That was
history is good.
our friend Matt and Laura, friends.
Yes.
Jesus, I can't talk tonight, guys. And I barely have even had a drink, to be honest with you. I'm just trying to really sound crazy. But anyways, they showed us drunk history, and that was pretty funny. So.
But there's that other guy who just sits at his desk and drinks like a whole bottle of wine. And
I don't know him.
Completely obliterated and goes off on topics. He's amazing.
Yeah, never heard of him. But for us, we're going to enjoy the drinks. We're not trying to get blasted here.
No.
What we want to do is just have fun. Tonight is, well, it's always about having fun, but tonight is extra fun because we are celebrating a bit here. And it's quite the milestone for me because I'm doing all this on my own. I have no sound crew, no real major hardware. I mean, we've bought some really nice USB microphones, and we're using Adobe Audition, but outside of that, I have to do all the editing, all of that stuff myself. It's a very homegrown podcast that I'm very proud of, you know. And we've come a long ways. The quality of the show has stepped up a lot, and bringing you on was an excellent idea because
I think so.
I love it. I get to look over and see your beautiful face, and then at the same time, I get to have that banter that goes back and forth, you know, where we can have that chemistry going on. And, you know, I didn't tell you this, but earlier today I was talking with Casey Goodwin of Oregon Paranormal Radio, and I wish you could have heard it in his voice. He said, Nicole is just coming into her own. She is literally, like, she's really making some huge improvements and moving forward. And I'm like, I wouldn't disagree with that on any level. So I'm very grateful you're in the show, and thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm pretty freaking phenomenal.
Bullshit meter went off.
No, I'm glad to, you know, be a part of this and help you out as much as I can. You know, I have my stupid comments and just like dirt. But, you know,
I think we all have our moments, but I don't think I've ever criticized you, though.
Oh, no, never. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you know,
You better not be.
Shut up. I bring what I can. You know, I ask some questions that maybe you wouldn't have thought of just because, you know, you're more in-depth in the field and I'm not quite there at all.
You're getting there, though. But
right,
the
but I'm
biggest
just saying
thing is,
it's like more of a novice coming in
Yeah.
and thinking of things differently and maybe asking different questions and bringing a little something different. And it doesn't hurt to have a woman.
No, and that's actually, I think, a very big asset is having a woman who has a different perspective. I mean, we're all different no matter who you bring in, but I think having a female-male counterpart set up, you know, is really beneficial to the way the show operates, thinks. I know for just in our normal lives, you come up with, all right.
Really?
Yeah, that was me, but we come up with normal stuff out of. Well, I've lost my train of thought.
Yes. Okay, so just stop that. But anyway, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me on my, what, is this 4th show now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tonight is different in that we don't have a guest. It's just going to be kind of, a recap show of where you've come from.
Yep.
And then kind of just talking about the number 13 and superstitions and
in general,
kind of
yeah,
stuff.
and just having fun,
Yeah.
you know, and this is for our listeners out there. We can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're really, really appreciative of your support, your interest in this show. Yeah, it makes it fun to hear back from people and know that they are listening. And I do hear from them, and sometimes I'm like, I don't know how many people we really got. But yet then people randomly say stuff like, oh, you know, I really like that last episode, which indicates they've been listening to many other ones. So,
well, you know, without our listeners, we're just talking to a computer. So thank you, because you give some purpose to what we're doing.
Thank
rather
God.
than us just talking to hear ourselves talk.
Yeah. So real quick, we're going to kind of give a shout out to Mike Smith over at the Info Sub and kind of do our normal ramblings there. We're going to get that kind of out of the way tonight because, well, I just want to kind of go off the cuff from this point on, you know, and do the rest of the show. And sorry, Mike, but today you have to take the front seat.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's nothing wrong with, you know, starting right off the gate with Mike.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to wait. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Anyway, we're giving a shout out to Mike Smith at InfoSub. He's the generous man who puts us out there for the world to hear. So you can check him out at infosub.listentomyradio.com. That is the number 2. And you can find him on Facebook at the InfoSub. So thank you, Mike, for all you do for us.
Thank you,
all
thank
the
you,
time
thank you.
and effort you put into getting our little podcast out there.
And people don't realize it, but this guy he's putting out a lot of programming. I mean, and it's mostly rock. It's mostly music related. He's a big advocate of what ASAP Radio does, and so for that, we're really grateful that he has included us in such a lineup that he has. Not only that, it gives us the worldwide exposure that we wouldn't have without him. So, Mike, you've been awesome.
And
all
he
along.
sends you really cool little clips on your birthday.
Yeah.
I still love it. It makes me giddy.
Mike, watch your back, buddy. No. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it. All right, so we'll step away for just a moment and kind of ready ourselves. I think we're going to put makeup and costumes on.
We are?
No.
Oh.
But we'll be right back, and we will pick up and run into the whole number 13 suspicions of superstitions without having a... Come on, you need to rhyme with
your
me.
intuition.
Yes, that. We'll be right back. ASAP Radio.
Now, I ain't superstitious, and I'm not the least bit suspicious about black cats breaking mirrors or being mean. Yet I got a funny quirk, and I'll always go berserk when I hear that certain number, 13.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You're getting closer.
9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh, no! Stop! Please don't say that next number. Triskaidekaphobia. I got triskaidekaphobia. And triskaidekaphobia has got me. I open doors for claustrophobia, and I wear glasses for myopia. But this triskaidekaphobia won't let me be. 1, 2, 3, they don't bother me, and neither do 4, 5, 6, or 7. But I can't conceal the fear that I feel when I see the number that's 2 plus 11. Be living in utopia, in a glorious utopia. If triskaidekaphobia set me free. 1, 2, 3, they don't bother me, and neither do 4, 5, 6, or 7. But I can't conceal the fear I feel when I see the number that's 2 plus 11. Triskaidekaphobia. I got triskaidekaphobia, and triskaidekaphobia's got me.
8 plus 5.
Well, man alive,
10 plus 3.
this'll be the death of me.
7 plus 6.
I'll be a son of a gun, 'cause triskaidekaphobia's got me.
Welcome back. You're listening to ASAP Radio. This is Nicole Kitsanis.
And I am Ben Robison.
So the number 13.
Yes.
It is a big superstition.
It is, and a phobia for many people.
Yes. It actually has a fancy name, too.
Yeah. Triskaidekaphobia.
There you go. Triskaidekaphobia, the fear of the number 13. There's lots of theory out there of why people are afraid of 13.
And there are people that are afraid of Friday the 13th, which is, I think, frigatriskaidekaphobia or something like that.
I don't know. It's got its own name.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But supposedly Friday the 13th is worse than just the 13. I don't know why. Spooky and
it has a history of it, but I think even more importantly, I think it'd be better to start from the beginning with like just the concept of superstitions.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
According to like Webster's dictionary, superstition is any belief that is inconsistent with the known laws of science or with what is considered true or rational, especially like, say, such as beliefs in the omens and the supernatural, which kind of pisses me off.
Why?
Because I believe in the supernatural, therefore it's not a superstition.
Right, but I think it's just saying that maybe part of a belief.
I think you're right. I think that's what it's trying to convey.
Not if
Poorly
you believe
done.
in the supernatural, you're superstitious.
Right.
I think there's a distinction. However, there are lots of superstitions out there.
Yeah.
There's tons. I think we even start as little kids with them, playing games and step on a crack, break your mother's back, and so you don't walk on the lines and you don't walk on the cracks.
Yeah.
I think we did it. Step on a crack, break your mother's back. Step on the line, break your father's spine.
Holy shit.
I know. How
I never
morbid is that?
I never did that one, but the break your mother's back, that was a normal one.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it starts out like early in age.
It does. It's just like all of these things that have some kind of lengthy history behind them. Ring Around the Rosies is actually talking about the plague and things like that. But so with these, they're just ways that our society has, I think, figured out a way to make light of something that's a little macabre, and not always the most comfortable thing to deal with, or even for children, try to give them. So, creative parents out there probably were like, coming up with stuff. Triskaidekaphobia.
So anyway, I don't know. Do you want to first talk about the number 13 superstition or just superstitions in general?
No, in honor of this episode.
You want to start with 13?
Yes.
All right, so the number 13. Many people believe that the number 13 became an unlucky number because of the 13th guest who showed up at the Last Supper.
Yeah, Judas.
Judas, yes. He betrayed Jesus Christ, and look where that got him.
To superstars. Oh, no, that wasn't it.
So, 13 shows up, all hell breaks loose. And
that was good.
Thank you.
Next time, let me drink my drink before you give a good punchline, because I almost spit it on this really expensive microphone. That wouldn't have been good.
But our folks.
We
digress. Yes. So that's what some people think is kind of the start of the unlucky 13.
Yeah.
There's also a thought that 12, the number 12, is thought to be this perfect number. And so if 12 is perfect, if you try to add on to it or, like kind of, change perfection, that's ill-advised and it's unlucky.
Yeah.
So 13 being right after this perfect number, it just kind of fell into an unlucky spot.
Well, and our society has obviously embraced this. When people build high-rises that go over 14 stories, they don't include, in the Western at least, I don't know about in the Eastern part of the world.
This is what I want to kind of put out there, too, is this is very much a Northern American fear.
Okay.
So, yeah, as you said, if you go to businesses or hotels, they don't have a 13th floor. They skip it all together. So next time you're in an elevator, look, there's, 1 through 12, and then it goes 14 on up. There is no 13. They very rarely want to have a 13th room or anything kind of associated with 13. Businesses, hotels have kind of thrown out the window just because I think so many people have this fear that they'd be like, I don't want that room. I don't want to stay on that floor, so they would have a bunch of empty rooms.
Well, and real quick, too, now that I'm thinking about it, let's also, while we're going through these particular superstitions, let's talk about just real quickly naming off the guests from each episode that I've had in the past. What do you think of that?
We can do that, yeah. Okay.
So...
you want to do that right now?
Well, because you just went off on the first one, right?
Huh?
Okay, so the first episode I had was with Casey Goodwin of Oregon Paranormal.
Okay.
Now, that should have been a superstition in itself.
Putting Casey number 1?
Yes.
He is the smartest man I know.
But I should have seen some kind of superstition, like, I don't know, a horseshoe or something like that to help me have good luck for the rest of all my shows.
Well, hindsight is 20/20.
I'm kidding, by the way. We're not going to go through all of our people
like...
right now. We're going to do that later. But I thought it would be funny to see you scramble a bit for a moment. And
I tried to roll with it. I had no idea where you were going, but I just put on a pretty face.
All right, so as you were saying.
Back to what I was saying. It is a North American thing.
Okay.
If you go to other countries, like Asian countries, they don't have the fear of the 13.
Is it the number
4?
4. Okay, I was going to say 2.
They don't like the number 4. But there's kind of good reason for the number 4 being an issue. I don't recall which language it is. I should have looked it up. But the word for 4 sounds almost identical to the word for death.
Ooh.
So they don't like the number 4 because of that. So yeah, I'd like to stay on the death floor, please. Yeah, that's not
well,
good.
not only that, it seems rather interesting how our cultures have changed. See, we used to embrace death from even as families, like let's say 200 years ago. We used to embrace death a different way because death was around people constantly. That's why you have post-mortem photos.
Right.
People posing with their children with other children, but some of them are alive and some are not. It's very strange to us nowadays, but it's just interesting how time has changed our concept and view of death. And so even in other cultures, in other parts of the world, they fear it and they avoid things that seem to tie to it or sound like it or anything, that resembles.
For fear of bringing it on.
Right.
Fear the reaper.
Yeah. So let's start off. Let's start talking about some of the superstitions that are out there, and we'll just go with the fun one right off the bat. No, not just that. We'll start off with the bad superstitions.
Okay, the unlucky one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be referencing a website out there. It's called theparanormalpost.com. We really like this, and I think this will be a good format for us to kind of follow. And while we do that, we're going to kind of discuss on our own level what we think of each one of these superstitions. So
and then add our own.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I mean, there's the superstition that if I wear my hair to the left instead of the right, it's going to be a good day.
Don't even talk about that.
See, that gets her worked up right away. All right, so because we are getting closer, I know it's September right now, but because we are getting closer to the Halloween season, let's kind of just segue right into the concept and the belief system that seems to kind of encircle, Halloween itself. So traditionally, with the time of Halloween, there's common superstitions galore out there. This goes from folklore to myths and omens carrying weight to those who believe in that kind of stuff. The superstition origins go back thousands of years, of course, and the beliefs include luck charms, amulets, bad luck, fortunes, cures, portents, omens, and predictions, along with fortunes and spells. So the bad fallacies far outweigh the good, especially around Halloween when myths run rampant.
Well, a lot of the superstition is like the veil is a lot thinner.
Yeah.
Or completely gone at Halloween, and so the dead can walk the earth.
Well, and that's why they also have All Hallows Eve.
Yep.
There's I know that a lot of this stuff is common knowledge for most people with regards to what Halloween is and the Druid background and all of the stuff that we've kind of morphed it into modern times.
Right. Well, if you even research it, there's reasoning for trick-or-treating. There's reasons that we put pumpkins out.
Right.
There's reasonings for everything. I mean, it's tradition now, but it was done in the first place because of superstition or omens and good luck charms. That kind of stuff was done. So I think Halloween in general is just very superstitious in its background.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. It actually, just kind of inflames this whole thing and makes it exacerbated to a certain, degree. So.
But I'm looking forward to it. I love Halloween. Yay!
Yeah, this is my favorite holiday of all. We know this, but.
So let's get into like some specific superstitions.
Okay.
Halloween is infused with them, but let's get into some specifics that most people know. Some maybe they don't know, but.
Let's start off with the one, black cats.
Black cats. Do
Black
not
cat.
let a black cat cross your path.
Well, they're considered or believed to be supernatural omens of their own.
Back in the day, they were associated with witches.
Yep.
They
in
still
the Middle
kind
Ages.
of are. If you watch even cheesy movies, Sabrina the Teenage Witch and that kind of stuff, like black cats are associated with witches, and so they were considered.
Well, and they're considered evil.
Yes.
Yeah, and I still think that that's true because I think cats, for the most part, are assholes.
I do not like cats. I will go on the air saying that.
Yeah, we don't
like
own them.
I'm allergic to them.
See, that's part of their asshole. That's their defense mechanism. They hate humans, first off, okay? And for my friends out there, and this is a shout out to Martina and Todd Baker, because I know you guys love cats, and I respect you. And when I come to your house, I will always be nice to your cats. However, cats are assholes.
But
they're just assholes.
My issue is they can sense that I'm allergic to them, so they feel the need to rub up on me. That's dickhead moves right there.
I saw literally on Facebook today that a new study came out that cats care less about you than you think. Duh.
Yeah, they don't give a shit unless you're allergic.
Yeah.
Then they want to be all up in your business.
So I'm good with this. If a black cat crosses my path, I'm gonna turn around and I don't know, walk backwards. I don't know how I gotta counteract that thing, but that little asshole.
I think you're screwed. I think if a black cat crosses your path, you're screwed. So just don't let it happen.
All right, so let's talk about the next one, broken mirrors.
Broken mirrors. You break a mirror and you get 7 years bad luck.
Well, kind of. I know that's what we're saying nowadays, but it's an ancient myth that our ancestors believed that was the image that we saw in the mirror was of our soul. So and it represented that,
My soul's pretty good looking.
But if you broke a mirror, that meant your soul went astray from your body. And in order to break that misfortune of the broken mirror happening and your soul and your body being separated, you had to wait 7 hours.
Right, but that's 1 hour for each year.
I know. Then you were supposed to go out there and pick up the broken pieces and bury them, I think it was, out in the moonlight. Now, we were talking about this earlier. How does one do that if you break the mirror during moonlight? Do you still wait 7 hours?
Well, what if you break it first thing in the morning?
Right. So and 7 hours goes by and moonlight hasn't happened. I kind of think what they're just saying is you have to wait 7 hours at a minimum.
Okay.
Anything after that.
I kind of take it as you wait 7 hours and you can pick up the pieces. Like, don't touch them for 7 hours. And then if you pick them up and it's not moonlight, just kind of put them somewhere safe and then go back out and bury them under the moon.
Yeah.
And then I think you're good to go.
I hope so.
Just don't cut yourself. That would suck.
Does that add more to your bad luck?
I
kind
don't
of.
know.
I mean,
it might
in
just
the
be
moment.
like, you're getting rid of your bad luck. I will take one last swipe on my way out.
Bleed your bad luck out. Yeah. I don't know.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Then we have the superstition of a ladder. Do not walk under an open ladder. In the days before they had gallows, criminals were hung from the top rung of a ladder.
That seems brutal. That makes me this one bothers me a bit because it seems so, it's just bad. Like, I mean,
why didn't they just use trees?
Could you imagine? Fred's holding the ladder, okay? Jacob's got, Jethro, who's been tried for stealing a horse. And they're like, we ain't got no gallows, so we're going to take this rung of this top part of the ladder and hang your ass from it.
I just see that lots of stuff could have gone wrong with hanging from a ladder. Like, use a tree or something.
I would have been a ninja and, wrapped my legs on another rung and lifted myself up.
Right.
And then kicked people in their faces and then ate their faces off.
Okay,
because you got to eat faces off when you're... Okay.
A ninja?
A ninja.
Ninjas eat faces. I didn't know that. But anyway, back to the ladder and reality.
Oh.
They would hang them from the top rung of the ladder, and then it was thought that the soul or their spirit was caught underneath and stayed there. So if you walk under an open
Yeah.
ladder, you are walking through ghosts, and they're probably pissed off.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, because you think when we're talking about this, we were talking about a straight ladder, but actually we're talking about your
An A-frame.
A-frame ladder and that top rung there.
It could still happen, though, if, like, the ladder was up against a building. It could be caught between the ladder and a building.
Oh, I guess that would still, yeah, that's a good point. It would still form that triangle,
Mhm.
which also seems to coincide with other shapes and stuff and superstitions out there.
Yeah.
We don't need to
There's
so much.
that triangle and the witch's hat.
Yeah, I think something to do with the Masonics,
The mason.
Masons. I mean the Masonic rituals, things like that. So
I always was afraid to walk under a ladder just because I thought it would fall on me.
I was never afraid. I've done it many a times. Maybe that's why I have so much bad luck.
Maybe. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. But anyway. Okay, our next one.
Is about owls.
Ooh, owls. Yes.
I love owls.
I do too. If an owl looks in your window, or if you see one in the daylight, bad luck and death will bestow you.
See, and this is interesting because I remember watching a specific movie called The Fourth Kind, and they incorporated the owl outside of people's windows in their dreams, seeing this owl looking in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as I can recall with that movie, because it's been a while, those people didn't die. So they kind of screwed that whole superstition up, but brought in the element, or maybe they didn't even care, maybe it had nothing to do with it. But I honestly have never heard of this one.
Oh, no?
Nope.
See, I always heard it was if a bird looks in your window, and I always just assumed a raven or a crow.
But sparrows, they're thought to carry the souls of the dead.
Right, but they bring bad luck if you kill one. So, see, birds have superstitions in them. And there's the movie The Birds and that kind of stuff. But birds, I think, in general, are thought to be kind of eeky. Is that a word? Eeky? Creepy?
I'm going to have to look that up on dictionary.com, ma'am.
But, you know, you see a murder of crows, which sounds ominous in itself.
I love that phrase, though.
But you hear crows and you're like, uh-oh, something bad.
Right.
And so I think if you had a bird looking in your window that's going to be startling, I think I would fare well with an owl looking at me over a crow.
True.
But, you know, I don't know. I don't know the origin of that one. It seems kind of, to me, Native American-ish, because they had a lot with owls and that kind of stuff. But, you know, if a bird's looking at you in the window, shoo him away.
Yeah, I'd shoo him away with some salt because that's our next superstition.
Oh.
Yeah. Rock
You're
salt.
You're going to throw salt at a bird.
Shoot him with rock salt. No, I'm not gonna. I don't do that crap.
Okay, what about salt?
All right, so salt was a rare commodity. It was
Mm-hmm.
used for trading and all sorts of things, but they also believed it to be possessing magical powers.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as that seems ludicrous, you think about how salt alters us even today on a chemical level.
Mm-hmm.
And changes how we react and enjoy things. I could see why people would have put that kind of credence into the idea of it bestowing magical properties.
Well, I mean, there's a couple different things with salt, if you think about it. I think the big superstition you're going for is, you know, if you spill salt, you need to pick it up and throw it over your shoulder.
Or your family's going to have bad luck, disarray, and death or something.
Right. But, you know, I say if you're cooking and you spill some salt, throw it in your dish. Don't waste it. However, no, you don't.
Oh, I'm just sitting here going, what if your floor's not clean?
I'm not saying off the floor. I'm saying on the counter.
Well, but what if you spill it on the floor? I mean, we're talking about spilling it in general.
Okay. Technicality.
Mm-hmm.
However, salt is still used today in occult practices and stuff, if you think about it.
Yeah.
So we still give it this magical property.
I think what's interesting or almost kind of contradictive in some ways, you spill salt, it's bad luck. The only way to counteract that bad misfortune of spilling salt is to pick it up
And
and throw it over your shoulder.
Well,
It's like, aha, I spilt you. Let me spill you one more time.
But see, I think it's taking something that was accidental and making it purposeful.
But what does that change? You've still spilt the salt.
It changes the luck. It goes from bad to good.
Okay.
I have no idea.
I really don't.
I didn't make these up.
No, I know, and that's the funny thing. We talked about this earlier, though, about the owls, and now we mentioned then sparrows, but now we're actually going to talk about the sparrows because they are their own superstition as well. Like I said, they're known or believed to carry the souls of the dead. Why are you shaking your head at me?
Because we already did the superstition.
I know. That's what I just said. I led right into that. Ketchup, mustard.
You want to get he's doing the sparrow one again, but yes, they.
No,
did
I was
carry
flying
the
right
soul.
by it.
Oh!
Pun intended.
You're
Thank
so
you.
flighty.
Oh, snap.
Anyway, yes, it's bad luck to kill a sparrow.
Yeah.
Aren't they the sign of? Oh no, it's a dove. Peace. Huh?
Yeah, peace.
But a lot of people get sparrows tattooed on them.
Yeah.
It's really trendy. Maybe you should do that.
Our friend Matt has one.
I know.
That's twice. He's gotten shout-outs twice. I want to get paid, fool.
We do actually have another shout-out to do to him later.
Yeah, we do.
That'll be
actually.
3. We should do 13 of them. If we say his name 3 times, maybe he'll appear. It's like Beetlejuice.
Yeah. Nice. That was a good one.
I like it.
All right, so what about good luck?
Oh, you did want to say good luck. I'm sorry. But on the topic of what I was just saying, that's another bad luck omen. There's some other ones that aren't even on this list.
Oh, yeah. What was...
Like Bloody Mary.
Yeah, Bloody Mary. Yeah.
That's a big one. You don't want to say her name 3 times in the dark.
Candyman?
Candyman.
Yeah, you've never seen the movie?
Oh, yeah, I want to. Don't open an umbrella indoors.
Right. Yeah, I'm not remembering any others after that.
Okay, we'll think of
So let's move on to the good ones now.
Let's go good.
Yeah.
We need more good
Belinda, the good witch.
Glenda.
Oh, yeah, Glinda. Me and my name.
Glinda.
Glinda.
Changed to Glenda.
Right.
We're referencing Wicked if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, it was a great one. Anyways. All right, so to bring good luck.
Yes.
The horseshoe.
Yes, the horseshoe is good luck.
Yeah, but it must be lost by a horse and then found by yourself.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
So it has to fall off some poor horse?
Yeah, and they throw shoes, and that's pretty standard, but it's good luck for you to actually find one of them, which historically thinking about that, I would say that was always good luck because that was something you didn't have to spend money on or create, or if you had to alter it a bit for your horse's foot, you had very little altering to already have to do.
Yeah.
So I could see that being like good luck to the cowboys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you had to have the open end facing your way when you found it, though.
Oh, what if it's not facing you?
Don't touch it? It doesn't ever say what.
So then that's kind of like the penny.
I just think that all it meant was if you found it with the open end facing in a different direction, it meant nothing. It didn't mean bad luck. It
just not good luck.
Yeah, you're like.
So it's the same thing with the penny superstition. If you find a penny heads up, it's good luck. If it's heads down, it's nothing.
Okay.
It's just a penny.
Yeah, exactly. But people would hang that horseshoe then over a door with the open end up.
Oh, the open end faces up. I
yeah,
thought
because
it faced down.
Well, here's why. You don't want the good luck to spill out, so it kind of turns into the
like
symbolic cup
chalice
of sorts. Yeah, chalice, and so your good fortune is filled inside that, and if you were to turn it the other way, it spills out.
However, just to play devil's advocate here, if my horseshoe is lucky, it is imbued with luck, right? So if I have it facing down, every time I walk under it, it's going to sprinkle goodness on me.
Well, then you need to put perforated holes at the top of its little...
Doesn't it have holes in it from putting the nails in it?
Yeah, but that's on the sides.
Doesn't
then
matter.
lay it on its side, and then it'll... We are really, out there with this one. But still staying on this particular superstition, they're also known to help ward off witches.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
I just knew it was about good luck, but it just goes to show there's so much more history sometimes with these superstitions that are already out there.
Yes.
So, yeah. And I think that had something to do with them being opposed, witches that is, being opposed to horses. I didn't know witches didn't like horses.
They don't ride horses, they ride broomsticks.
All right, fair enough. All right, so the clover. That's
yes,
a
four-leaf clover.
Four-leaf clover. It's meant to protect humans, I guess.
Clover in general or the four-leaf?
The clover, I think, in general, and
nice.
and animals from like evil spells, and it's thought to be good luck to find a four-leaf clover, but that was more directed or angled for the Irish, folk.
The leprechauns.
The leprechauns.
The lucky leprechauns.
I'm not going to try to do it. You thought I was.
I was waiting for you.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a good idea for me on the show to try to mimic other accents. That's it. Yeah. So.
But it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. So
another good luck charm is a rabbit's foot.
Oh yes.
It's not good luck for the rabbit, but for the wearer.
How do you know? How do you know? What if a fox, right, was attacking that rabbit, mangled his foot, it fell off, but he got away. Then you find his foot. Now that seems to me to be a perfect setup for good luck. You find the severed foot of a living rabbit that made it. And yes, he's hopping around on 3 legs, but he's alive.
But unfortunately, you would not know if that rabbit was alive or not, because hopefully he's hobbled away.
What if I followed his blood trail all the way back to his little den?
Okay, this is getting gross. But, it could make sense. Like if you were out in the woods and you're starving, you found a rabbit. Good luck, you found this rabbit, you ate it, and you keep his foot as like...
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, or I have a little snack later.
Yeah. It's probably a Native American superstition as well.
That's another one that I think is gross. Like people who just have dead rabbit, like dead animal foot that they carry around with them.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's kind of gross.
I was going to get an earring with one hanging from it.
You totally should, and I won't go near it. But I don't know. I just don't like the idea of carrying a carcass or part of a carcass around with you. But if it works for you, go for it.
Being a wimp.
I am. I'm a little chicken. I don't
All
like
right. You're a good little chicken.
Thank you.
All right, so what else can you come up with?
Oh, well, there's the one every Thanksgiving that I do, is you take the wishbone out of the turkey, you let it dry, and then you break it with somebody else.
Yeah.
And no, it's only good luck is if you pull it apart and you get the bigger half.
Right.
Or if you split it in half, then I guess you both get good luck.
Well, I've never heard of anybody doing that, though.
You've never seen it break directly
in half? No.
I bet it could happen.
Oh, man.
The chances are probably not great, but it could, I guess, happen. Anything's possible, right?
Let's see, what other ones? This site has, if the flame of a candle flickers and then turns blue, there's a spirit in the room. I've heard that.
I have not heard that one.
One of the last cases I did, or I should say Port had done, I didn't get to be there for the actual investigation. I had other obligations and commitments, but I helped formulate the plan of attack. We did a hybrid where we took modern type investigation techniques and blended them with traditional. And what we did is we lit a candle, and the team would ask questions, and there was all sorts of supposed reactions and responses based upon the way the candle flame either moved or didn't move or lit and didn't change color, color. So I have heard that. The next one says if a bird flies through your house, it indicates important news. If it can't get out, the news will be death.
Oh, God.
That doesn't seem...
See, here's with the birds again.
Yeah.
Okay, if a bird flies in my house, I'm going to think that's bad luck anyway. But why is the bird not being able to get out? Like, shoo him out.
But why do you think that it's bad luck?
I just don't think it's good. I don't know.
Yeah, it may not be good, but why bad luck, right? And it may have something to do with some old tradition or belief system that you were taught at some point.
Maybe.
You may not quite retain. I always wonder about that kind of stuff, is how much of the stuff I'm like, or yeah, is really derived from stuff I can't consciously recall, but I have that feeling, the emotion that's tied to it based upon something I was taught or told or whatever.
This kind of leads me into a question I was going to ask you later, but I'll just ask it now. Do you have any superstitions that you follow?
No, I don't believe so.
No. Huh.
Unless you know of some I don't recognize.
No,
here's the thing. How many people are out there that actually operate every day and do things that are technically superstitious but don't even realize they're doing it, or believe now so much that this is really what you do. Like, they've incorporated it into the reality of their world, just like breathing has to be done, they have to do this one thing, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't think I have any, to be honest. What about you?
I do. I know I do.
Oh, yeah, you do the thumb bump thing or whatever I call it.
So this is one that my mom taught me, and it's funny enough, my brother does it too. I never knew that until like a year or so ago. But if you see a one-eyed car, one headlight car, we called it a one-eyed car.
Yeah.
So if you see a car driving down the street at you and it only has one headlight, it's like a bad omen. And so to ward off the bad luck, you lick your thumb, wipe it in the middle of your other palm, and then hit it with your fist. I don't know where this came from. My mom's part Okie. It's probably an Okie wives' tale. I don't know. But that's one of the superstitions. She's also taught me other ones. Like if your palm itches, it means you're going to come into money. If your nose itches, you're going to kiss a fool.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard that one. I also heard the one that if my nose grows, I'm telling lies.
That's from Pinocchio.
Oh.
You're a real boy.
Here's one I think is just stupid. I mean, really, I do. If you feel a chill up your spine, that means somebody's walking on your future grave.
Oh.
That's stupid to me. That doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know. I have a hard time thinking, okay, my future grave out there could be a forest and somebody's walking through there. It's not a malicious thing.
What if you cremate it or put in a mausoleum thing?
But even then, it's like some of this stuff all has to do with cause and effect. What the hell does having a chill up my spine really have to do? Why would I be worried about that? Who cares?
But,
okay, fine.
So that's saying something in the future is affecting your past.
Yeah, like that's odd. That's the only one of its kind that I've ever heard of.
I always thought it was a ghost was in the room if you felt a chill up your spine.
No, that's what us paranormal researchers definitely think. Duh.
All right, a person born on Halloween will have the gift of communicating with the dead.
I don't believe in this one either. Here's why. I have a buddy of mine named Eric, and he lives over in Boston. Boston. I'm not even going to try to brutalize that one either, but I've never heard him talk about how he could talk to the dead, and he's born on Halloween, so
maybe he doesn't talk about it.
No, I've asked. I've heard about this.
Maybe he's denying it.
I don't think so.
Maybe.
You're so full of yourself right now. All right, so let's see. A bat in the house is a sign of death. No, that's not true. I've had a bat in my house. Maybe it is true. The bat died.
Bats in the
and it wasn't even that we tried to kill the bat. I caught it in my blanket, and I think it just died of like trauma, like just being scared to death.
How long did you have it in your blanket, honey?
Long enough to get it out of the blanket into a big one of those, I don't know, 2 quart mayonnaise jars.
Okay, so you suffocated it in your blanket, and then you put it in a container that had no air holes.
It had air holes.
You suffocated it.
No, that's not what happened.
You killed it.
Folks, don't listen to her. She does not know what she's talking about. She was not there.
Okay.
All right, so...
Ooh, a bird one again.
All right, so what is it?
If a bird flies towards you, bad fortune is imminent.
Yeah, I've had birds fly at my car and, bad fortune was imminent for that bird.
For the bird, yeah. Oh,
I've had a bird bounce off my windshield.
Oh God, I've been in a car as a bird bounced off the windshield and blood splattered all over the windshield, and then the windshield wipers got turned on, which just smeared the blood.
Who turned the windshield wipers on? Oh, you did.
I did not. I wasn't driving.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, you looked at me like you were like, I don't want to say it, but I did.
No, I didn't. That was the stupidest thing to do, because then it was like we were in some bad horror movie and blood was everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, that was not good. But there was a spot in San Jose where I used to live, California, and there would be birds.
There's another San Jose somewhere else?
Yeah, probably. It's
Yeah.
Mexico and stuff.
All right.
Anyway, there were birds on top of this building, and they would just watch you, and they would frickin' dive bomb you and peck your head.
Awesome. No, those are protective birds.
Those are dick birds. They're like cats.
That's a first I've ever heard of the dick bird.
Yeah, be careful of the dick bird. They'll peck you.
They're probably part feline.
They're little peckers.
Oh, man, this show's getting really bad. So, all right, we're getting close to the end of our hour episode tonight, and I wanted to kind of do a little bit of recapping. I wanted to go back and touch base out of honor of the folks that have helped make ASEP Radio worthy to listen to, and great guests. Every single one of them have been amazing guests. And for the record, we're not even talking about the folks that we're about to have on the show, in the next, 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So, things have been going really well. We're very happy. I would definitely say good superstitions have befallen onto ASEP Radio. Doesn't mean there hasn't been challenges, because good Lord, there have been plenty of them, and I'm sure there will continue to be. But we rise above them, and we just keep marching on, doing our thing. And I've really enjoyed this venture, especially now having you on here. So with all due respect to Casey Goodwin, we've already spoke to you, or about you, I should say.
Yeah, we didn't speak to him.
I'm speaking to him through my mind, woman.
Or through the mic.
Well, yeah. I spoke to you, Casey, right? You know what's up. So, yeah, he was my very first guest. I got to cut my teeth on that episode, and it's so weird when I go back and listen to it. It's so different.
Yeah, you played it for me the other day.
Yeah. I'm like, this is Ben Robinson of ASEP Radio.
This is Casey Goodwin of Oregon Paranormal.
Well, no, Casey sounded pretty good.
No,
he was like,
I'm saying that's what you were saying.
Oh, gotcha.
I have Casey Goodwin.
Yeah, I was very robotic.
I think you were nervous.
I was. It was nerve-wracking. That's why I drank a lot. It's just Casey. That's even more reason to be.
Smartest man I know.
So the next episode, I brought my own father into the mix, and I grew up my whole life listening to him talk about UFOs and aliens and so on and so forth. And so it only seemed right that I get my father involved, and it was a great episode. I loved having him talk. He has the gift of gab, and he ran with it, and it was so good to have my father a part of ASEP Radio's history. Yes. So that was awesome. I moved into the next episode, number 3, with Michael White of Paranormal Research and Investigations. Michael White, I don't think there's enough words in this room to describe how much both Nicole and I love that man.
I have a huge soft spot for that man.
He's an amazing guy. We work with him very closely. He just keeps doing stuff all the time that I think is beneficial and the right direction to be going in with this field of research. So it was great to have him on there, and rest in peace to his dog. His dog was in the background. You could hear his dog clicking around in the background, and he had a great dog, and it wasn't that long afterwards his dog passed. So was lucky to have some history there with the dog. So then we moved into episode number 4. And this was one we're going to be hopefully picking up on before the end of the year. Ghost stories are really good around Christmas time of every year. Oddly enough, you wouldn't think so, but they are.
They go with, we have Scrooge, Ghost of Christmas, past, present, future.
So I think we'll be doing the part 2 of that this year. Yeah, and first year I did it was with Casey Gordon, who is a friend and kind of just, amateur paranormal researcher out there, but he shared some stories along with Jenny Patrick, who's also a colleague of ours, and Annie Locks, who's also a colleague, as well as William Becker. So they all shared some pretty, interesting stories, and I look forward to doing a part 2 with some new guests and see what kind of creepiness we can bring in.
Wow.
Then we brought in Jay Verberg. Jay Verberg was one of the greenhorn miners on the sci-fi show of Ghost Mine that went for 2 seasons, and he has become, did I say become?
He has become.
Wow.
Yeah, that's okay.
He has become one of our very, very good friends. We love Jay very much. He's worked very close with our other groups. He's now a part of Oregon Paranormal, which is a huge asset to Oregon Paranormal. Jay's got a very heavy background in historical research and understanding the old, just elements that come into play of the history and the way people were and conducted themselves. So that was a fascinating story. That was kind of also the birth of an experiment that I've been working on in talking with him. Him and I both had a shared Ouija board, not a shared, but we shared a scary experience that came out of Ouija boards. So it kind of was the birth of an experiment has not happened yet, but will hopefully, it's in the works. Hopefully it will happen soon. So now the next one was, I dubbed this episode the Lost episode because I felt so bad. I recorded it like 2 episodes prior, and I could not find it. I was having computer issues, and I was making some changes, and I could not find it for a while. And then all of a sudden, I stumbled across it, and so I got to sit down with a very, very close friend of mine, William Becker, who is also known as Paranormal Insights. He travels the world, conducting classes, teaching people how to kind of tap in. He's worked with you.
I've worked with him. He's amazing.
He is. He's a good man.
If you have a chance to go to one of his classes, I would highly recommend it. I do have a little soft spot for this episode because while I wasn't co-hosting it with you, I was sitting there as you guys were recording it. So, I'm kind of there in spirit.
Yeah. Well, you've always been, and to kind of segue or kind of branch off for a moment, you've always been a part of ASAP Radio because you're actually in the intro.
I am.
Yeah. So what do you remember what you say?
There's no doubt that something paranormal was going on.
Nice.
I totally said that.
Yep.
I remember doing that over the phone with you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was intentional. Yeah. So, yes, folks, that was not a legitimate thing. Ooh, kill us now. But at any rate.
See, you wanted me in your life permanently. You didn't even
know it. Of course. Yeah. So the next episode was actually a joint venture between Oregon Paranormal Radio and ASAP Radio. It was at the Oregon Ghost Conference in Oregon City in 2014. We brought in Jay Verberg again to sit down with us, and it was just a ton of fun. We just talked about all sorts of things. We allowed the audience to talk to us, and we just answered their questions. So that was a great time. I'd love to do one of those again.
Yeah.
Next one, I was very excited. This one was Ben Hansen of Sci-Fi's Fact or Fake Paranormal Files. What I like about Ben is his actual background in law enforcement, and he brought that to the show. And he's such a humble guy. He was so good to talk to. He was such a gentleman, a scholar, all of the above. So I really grew to admire him further after having him on the show.
Good.
So
that was really the Ben show.
Yeah, it was the Ben show, the Ben and Ben. Ben on Ben action. All right, so number 9 was Neil McNeil, who, again, a close friend of mine, a great colleague. And I know he doesn't call himself a parapsychologist, but he is in my mind, and most of us around me agree with the same kind of pigeonholing there. He is. He's an amazing guy. Not only that, he's also a damn good singer.
I have heard this, so I have yet to meet Mr. McNeil.
He's a good singer.
I heard I'm gonna, run into him at
Port Gamble Ghost Conference.
And that you are a karaoke fan, my friend.
Yep.
So I think we're gonna have to be singing some duets.
Oh my, I think he'll love that, especially if his husband's there.
Sweet.
That'll be cool. So Neil was awesome. He always just stretches my knowledge out further. He fills me full of information that I'm able to, take and apply to all of my future endeavors in this field of research. So I'm glad, that he was able to sit down with me. He's busy dude. So next one was
my first.
Yes, your very first. Rick Hale from Common Sense Paranormal Radio on the Hazy Radio Network. He joined us. And so he popped Nicole's cherry. So
thanks, Rick.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. At any rate, we brought him on and we chatted about pretty much all things paranormal. And again, Rick is this, he's like a walking encyclopedia, if you think about it. This guy he's wrote his own book. I think he's in the middle of writing another one. But he's also just been hosting shows for years now. And when you follow him on Facebook, you'll see how much he's dove into this field and how much he fields questions constantly with people. And sometimes they're haters. And I feel bad for him because he has to deal with those haters, but he does it diplomatically every time. So, our hats off to Rick, and we had a great episode with him.
Yes.
So, our next episode was the 11th. We brought in Phil Siracusa and Carissa Fleck. They both had experienced the Horsefly Chronicles.
They co-wrote it, I guess.
Yeah.
They're back on the east side, and it's basically an account of Phil's house and
the demon that's been plaguing him for a long time.
Attacked Carissa, and
yep.
So it's kind of just an interview of what's going on there and what they have coming up, and they have tons of things coming up. So if you want to follow them on Facebook, go for it, because they are always doing some stuff.
Yeah, they're definitely heavily involved. It was a very genuine account of some really shitty scenario that they both had to go through. So it was great for their candor and their ability to tell that story.
And I just saw that they are going to be starting their own radio show too.
Good.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, that will be good. I'll love to hear Phil's voice. He's got that. I mean, man, he sounds like Jersey, thick accent. Yeah. So, our last episode was number 12, and we had none other than Jeff Davis join us.
Jeff Davis.
He is a local guy to us right here in the Vancouver, Portland, Oregon area. He's an author, and he's been a paranormal researcher for, a long time, a couple decades now, I think, at least. And super great guy. We were just sitting down and chatting with him here at our home yesterday, as a matter of fact, for a new book he's working on. So I
do have to give props to him and huge thank you. This was a show we had to record twice.
Yeah.
The first time he came out to our home and we did an in-person interview, and we thought it was awesome, and we had great conversation.
We did.
And it sounded like ass.
We sounded like we were inside of a cave, and it was just wretched. So
thank you for taking the time to sit down and do it again, finding space where you could go and kind of get away from people and Skype in with us. And
even though his landlord barged in and started...
he was at the school. He wasn't at...
Oh, okay. Well, I thought he said it was his landlord, but whatever. I mean, the guy is awesome. He's a trooper, and he dealt with it, and we can't thank him enough. So that led up to our top 12 up to now, and now we are making number 13.
Yes.
So, and
we are not scared of this episode.
I'm not.
We're embracing it. It's gonna be amazing.
It's good luck.
It is good luck.
Yeah, my superstition for this is that it's going to be a successful episode, and It's going to go down in the histories and, yeah, the annals of...
I know.
Is that how you say that word?
Sure.
Annals?
Anals.
Anals? What's going down the anals?
Well,
we're really going to make this episode...
It's pretty shitty, yeah. I do, want to touch on 2 more superstitions we haven't touched on.
Okay.
Just because it's pertinent to us and what we have coming up in our lives.
Oh.
So they're wedding superstitions.
Ooh.
Do you know any wedding superstitions?
Don't see the bride in her wedding dress before the wedding.
That's one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I don't know any others.
There's the one that the bride always has to wear something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. And then there's also the superstition if it rains on your wedding day, that's good luck.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, but I don't want it to rain on our wedding day.
So you want bad luck?
No, it doesn't say it's bad luck if it doesn't happen.
I can't believe this.
I look like a soggy mess. You don't want that.
I
look like Swamp Thing.
I love my soggy mess. The swamp thing.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Bride of Swamp.
Cousin it.
Yeah. The ring.
The ring. All right. I think we are good. We're at the hour mark here. Let's just...
That flew by.
Yeah, it did. And let's just call it a night.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for tuning in to ASAP Radio.
Lucky number 13.
Yeah. It's done. It's in the bag, baby. All right. Well, you guys have a great night.
Yes.
Stay tuned. We got some really cool guests coming up.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
There are people who have reported experiencing the same things that we have been experiencing.
I hear the brush popping and stuff. Oh, there he goes. Jesus.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.